Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of The Mighty Thor issue 702. And I really like this issue. It's still working its way to kind of combining all of the threads together. We're getting more threads of the War of the Realms being woven into the whole Mangog thing, and we get the more kind of Odin piece pulled in with this issue. So the issue starts off talking about where Jane really wants to be as Thor, where she's really needed, but she says that she's here, arm wrestling Hercules. And this was a pretty funny scene. Hercules pretty much trying to display his power and everything. And, of course, Thor does her thing where she kind of throws off some electricity. Hercules is like, hey, my dad's the Thunder God too, man. I got that stuff. And they're really getting into it, and she's talking about how actually she should be as Jane and getting her chemotherapy, but she's not because she's more worried about the War of the Realms. Well, as they're still doing it, we see that the Odinson throws his axe through the table, pretty much trying to stop it, going, listen, if you're to get into an ego contest with Hercules, I've learned long ago not to do that kind of stuff. But of course, Hercules is going, hey, listen, I was just about to defeat her. What the heck, man? And Thor's just like, why did you intervene and all that? Well, Hercules goes, doesn't matter, even though I was about to defeat you, I'll still grant your boon, and I'll talk with Zeus to see if we can get the Olympians on your side. She's tactically doing some cool stuff to, they've got a problem with all the realms at war. They need allies. What about other pantheons? That's cool. So, of course, Hercules is about to go off, and Odin's like, why wouldn't you be this as agreeable with me when I was holding the hammer? He goes, well, I was drunk most of the time. And Odinson goes, wait a minute, we got a sober Hercules? Wow. Everything's truly gone mad. Yep. But, of course, the Odinson lays out why he really came to get her, and we see Volstagg is alive. I'm going, yes. I didn't know how it was going to go. He's at least in a coma at the moment, beating everything, and of course Thor is more worried with Volstagg, and I'm going, yeah, you had a right to come and get me, and she's going, what could have done this to him, especially in his War Thor state, and he goes, well, it pretty much rended the hammer to pieces and took off Tooth Gnasher's head, and Thor goes, wow, I'm sorry about that, Odinson, because that's a pretty big thing. And then, of course, Thor brings up the whole thing of Mangog. And, Odinson brings up Mangog. Thor goes, I kind of remember some stuff. And he's talking about how Mangog almost brought on Ragnarok through his sheer force of will alone. So, they're going, alright, this is just Thor's pretty much like, this is just another thing on my plate. I just gotta keep going and doing everything. Of course, Odinson stops her. You really need to take care of yourself. And of course, she's going, I need to do other stuff. I don't have time to do that. But he goes, that's more the hammer talking. And Thor goes, I'm willing to lay down my life for that. And he goes, well, that's good. How about are you willing to live for that? And she tosses the hammer away and goes, you know what? You're right. Because he shows that the world does need Jane Foster. Because Jane Foster helped Thor recognize humanity and Midgard as being worth saving. And Jane has also been a senator on the Congress of Worlds and has represented humanity in this big cosmic place. And Jane is kind of important. It's not just Thor being important, we also need Jane. I liked how they did that and balanced that kind of in this. So, of course, she goes, yeah, I kind of have something that I need to see. And a really kind of cool note is when she's kind of in between transforming between Thor and Jane, you can see in the speech bubble, it goes from the usual kind of Asgardian speak down to regular Jane's kind of, and regular people's text kind of speech in the bubble. I just like it when they do that kind of cool stuff. So, she says that she has something that she has to do as Jane, and what does she do? She tries to go and confront Odin, calling him out and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, saying that if he's not willing to do it, they need a new All-Father, or better yet, a new All-Mother. Or better yet, an All-Mother. And that kind of confused me a little bit, because I'm going, wait a minute, we had an All-Mother before. And actually, it was a council kind of all-mother kind of thing with Freya as kind of the head, Gaia, and Idun, or Idun, yeah. And I was just, yeah, I don't mind that you would probably need a leadership shakeup, because a really interesting dynamic that they are playing with is kind of the differences between a democracy and a monarchy, and kind of the pros and cons of each one. Whereas within the democracy and the Congress of the world, you got to present all these artifacts and evidence of what's going on with the realms, and you got to debate and everything. But you also have that kind of lag time with a monarchy as well, especially when Odin is doing God knows what, because you haven't really seen him since Freya got injured and he's been tending. So she's pretty much calling him out. And of course, other peoples are coming in. She's talking about how people need the gods and all that kind of stuff. And Cole comes in, calling it sedition and all that, and just getting ready to go in on her and all that. But of course, this leads the other guys to saying, leave her alone. We do need a leadership change. Like, every god deserves a voice. But then, of course, we get the funny little joke of Valkyrie calling death to the patriarchy, smiting and more smiting. It's like, okay, we've got a war, but okay. It just felt, okay, it's a funny little joke. We're okay with that. And, of course, what does this do? This brings out Odin coming into effect, and being in rare, big, arrogant dick form. Like, really big. I understand that he's been through a lot, but he isn't really showing the wisdom that he has had in his age, and what he's learned. He's really going full on it, but granted, everything that's going on with Ragnarok and him almost losing his wife, it probably does affect him to be kind of more in I want to go more in my smiting kind of mood than think about this reasonably kind of mood. Because he's pissed off at everybody. He says, I gotta sort this mess out. Cole's going, it's not my bad. This mortal keeps screwing stuff up. And he's going, if a god can't handle an unruly mortal, you don't deserve to call yourself a god. And he just goes into a tactical route that I didn't really see coming. Going to Jane saying he shouldn't have sent his son to Midgard. Says that humans are the most arrogant fleas in the cosmos. I'm going, wow, alright. And saying that she demands a revolution and that she wouldn't be fit to be a concubine for him, let alone an advisor. And Odin's son's even going, that is uncalled for, but he goes, don't you try to interrupt me on this. And then saying that they should remove her from his sight or he will do it permanently. And of course then we see somebody say that Jane's right and Freya's up. And it's like, yes, because we have known that Loki has been playing a kind of long game. He was trying to do good, but he's being kind of an undercover agent at this point. So I was wondering when Freya would come back. Everybody's like, whoa, you've been in death slumber for so long. The healers said there was really no hope. But she's saying that, like Jane's words stirred her, that all of the gods have been acting unworthy, and that they're trying to act worthy for people like Jane that worship him and need him. But of course, as she asks Jane to stand at her side, we see that Jane has fainted. It's like, oh, excuse me, getting over a little cold. I'm sorry. And we'll have to see what the repercussions are. She has not done chemotherapy in a while, so hopefully it's not terribly bad. So this issue closes out on a big note. It really brings into effect the threat of the man god, because Heimdall's talked about all the stuff that he's seen and how this is going to be difficult to watch as Mangog slams down onto the Rainbow Bridge and he tells Heimdall to tell all the gods in heaven that he is here to send them to hell. And I love Jason Aaron's writing for that, because that is an epic line to go out on, both as an introduction to what's going to happen next and go out on this issue. It's going, alright, whether they wanted it or not, war has come to Asgard in the form of Mangog, and you gotta admit, Malekith has been amazing in what he has been able to accomplish, bringing together all these people from different realms and just tactically strike at different points to make different flashpoints to make it so much harder for people to focus on the end game goal. And now with Mangog at Asgard, it's they're going to need Thor, they're going to need the Odinson, they're going to need everybody, and Odin is going to have to step up. He's going to have to be like, okay, we've got a big issue. We're going to have to take this on. So I cannot wait to see what's going to be going on with Mangog and how this is going to be going forward. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.